All right, so welcome to another deep dive. Today we're tackling the age-old question, which food delivery app reigns supreme? You know, you want it to be efficient, right? But also, sometimes, a little, treat yourself. So let's dive deep and find out.
Oh, it really is the question, isn't it? I mean, everyone's got their favorite, but is it actually saving us money? Or are we just victims of some clever marketing? You know what I mean?
That's the thing. We've got some awesome source material. Someone actually ordered the exact same thing. A Big Mac meal, medium, Coke Zero. You know the vibes from the same McDonald's, but using 4 different apps. And we've got the screenshots. So we can see the final price, but more importantly, all the hidden fees and maybe even some savings.
Oh, this is great. It's like a modern day experiment. I can't wait to see how these apps stack up, especially when you start to factor in like the little psychological nudges they use to make you spend a little extra.
Okay, so picture this. It's late, you're hungry, the Big Mac is calling your name. Which app are you opening? First up, Noon Food.
Noon Food, yeah. They've become a big deal, but they've got some real competition.
Yeah, so looking at this image, the initial price looks okay, but that service fee, man, it adds up, especially if you're ordering for more than just yourself.
That's the thing, right? They keep the base price looking all tempting, but then, boom, service fee. It's a smart, almost like a sneaky way to make money.
Right. Then there's that free delivery. But wait, there's a minimum spend.
Classic. It's always something, right? Gets you to add like an extra side or a dessert you didn't even really want. All part of the game.
Oh yeah, and look, 20% cash back if you use the Noon One credit card. Sounds great, but cash back can be a bit of a trap sometimes, doesn't it? Like, are you really saving or just spending more to get some of it back?
That's a good point, yeah. You have to read the fine print, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's all these like minimum spends or certain things don't even count.
So Noon Food, final price, AED 32.40. Not terrible, but is it the best? Let's check out the Smiles app, McDonald's own platform. Wonder if ordering direct has some perks.
Oh yeah, good call. Direct sometimes has like loyalty programs or special deals you won't find elsewhere.
Yeah, okay, wait, check this out. In the screenshot, there's a promo code already applied, MCDSTWBOGO. Now, I gotta know what that unlocks.
The mystery code.
Yeah,
They know how to make us curious.
it's working. This order has a 10 AED discount. I wonder, like, how often they do those kinds of deals. Unlike Noon Food, there is a delivery charge here, though. AED $8.50. So Smiles app comes in at AED $29.50. Cheapest so far, but we're only 2 apps in.
This is interesting, right? It's like those little differences, the codes, they really make you think.
Okay, now for the big guns. Talabat. I mean, who hasn't used Talabat, right? Huge selection, but are the prices competitive?
Talabat is like everywhere now. Can't deny it. But sometimes convenience comes with a price tag, yeah.
Immediately, we're seeing service A need delivery fees. Is this becoming the standard now? Like, just expect to pay extra on top of the food itself?
It's definitely a trend. Like, as long as the base price looks good, people might not, notice those extra bits.
And look at this little pro tip. Free delivery, but only if you spend AED 19 more. Is that a deal or just a way to make us spend more?
It's smart. Got to give them that. Like,
Yeah.
You feel like you're winning by saving on the fee, even though you're spending, well, more overall.
Totally. It's like a challenge to find the loopholes. So, no promo code used in this example. Final price on Talabat, AED 38.43. Ouch. That's quite a jump from the others.
Wow, that's a lot more. Really shows how important it is to, like, compare and be aware of those extra fees.
Okay, last step, Careem. They're known for rides, but they do food too, right?
Oh yeah, Kareem's branching out, trying to tap into those different markets, see if they can, leverage what they already have.
All right, so free delivery here, but it's thanks to Careem Plus, which sounds like a subscription thing. Another layer. Are these memberships worth it, or are we just paying for, like, the idea of saving money?
Subscriptions are everywhere now, aren't they? Got to weigh the costs and benefits for sure, especially if you're not ordering all the time.
And you can tip your driver, which is nice, but again, adds to the cost. So Careem comes in at AED 32.55, very close to Noon Food. All right, we've seen all 4 breakdowns. Time for the expert analysis. What are the key takeaways? What should we be paying attention to?
Honestly, the biggest takeaway is that there's no clear winner. Each app has its pros and cons, so the best one really depends on what matters to you.
It's not as simple as just looking at the final price, is it? There are so many factors to consider.
Exactly. We've seen how those little fees, promo codes, minimum spends, memberships, it all adds up. It's about being aware of the details and making smart choices.
So what are the things our listeners should be watching out for?
Okay, first, those hidden fees. Service charges, delivery tips, it all adds up, so factor that in.
And free delivery, always a catch, right? Check those minimum spend requirements, see if it's really worth it for you.
Promo codes can be great, but don't let them control you. Sometimes you end up ordering things you wouldn't normally get.
It's about finding that balance, getting a deal, but not going overboard.
Right, exactly. And, loyalty programs, memberships, they can be good, but only if you're using them enough. Don't sign up just because it sounds good.
Wow, this is so insightful. We've learned so much just from looking at these 4 orders.
Yeah, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole world of psychology and marketing that goes into these apps.
I already feel like a more informed consumer.
That's what we'd like to hear.
It's like, we've only just scratched the surface with these food delivery apps, haven't we? Like, there's so much going on behind the scenes to get us to click that order button.
Oh, for sure. It's a whole mix of technology and psychology and good old-fashioned marketing. They're tracking what we like, using algorithms to figure out what we're going to crave next, and then boom, there it is, right on our screen.
Like having a personal shopper for your dinner, but this one's all about the data and, well, making a profit.
Exactly. And that makes you wonder, right? Are these apps making us try new things or just sticking to what we know because it's easy?
And what about the restaurants themselves? We saw those commission fees. Those can really hurt, especially for the smaller places.
Yeah, it's complicated. On one hand, these apps get them more customers, people who might never have found them otherwise. But those fees, they add up. And then restaurants feel like they have to do discounts and stuff to stand out.
It's like they need the apps, but it also kind of hurts them at the same time.
It's a balancing act, for sure. And it's not just the restaurants, right? There's the drivers, too. Gig work, it's flexible, but are they getting paid enough? What about benefits?
So many moving parts. It's like a whole ecosystem.
Yeah, and we're part of it, right?
Right.
As consumers, we can choose to support the places that do things right, think about the environment, all of that.
Speaking of choices, something I noticed in our source material, they ordered a Big Mac meal, but with Coke Zero, trying to be a little healthier.
Interesting, right? Even when we're treating ourselves, we're thinking about our health a bit more these days. And the apps, they're catching on, more nutritional info, healthier options, even working with fitness brands.
So it's not just about convenience anymore, it's also reflecting what people care about health-wise.
Exactly. They're adapting. And it's not just about the food itself. People want sustainable, ethical, they want to know where their food's coming from.
And how are the apps responding to that?
You see more and more platforms highlighting things like local ingredients, eco-friendly packaging, that sort of thing. More info on how the food's made, so consumers can make informed choices.
It's good to see they're not just pushing convenience, but actually trying to, do things better.
Definitely. And I think that's only going to grow as people expect more from, all brands, not just food.
Okay, so let's look ahead a bit. What's next for these food delivery apps? What's coming down the pipeline?
One big thing is AI, artificial intelligence. These apps are getting really good at predicting what you're going to want based on your history, the time, even the weather.
So it's like an AI chef knows what you're craving before you do.
Yeah, and it's only going to get more advanced. Imagine an app that knows your dietary needs, your goals, even your mood, and suggests something perfect.
That's kind of amazing, like a digital nutritionist in your pocket.
And there's more. We're also seeing this rise of virtual kitchens, sometimes called ghost kitchens.
Ghost kitchens, what are those?
So basically, they're restaurants that only exist for delivery.
Yeah.
No storefront, no tables, just making food for those orders.
Wow, that's a whole new business model.
Right. It lets them try out different cuisines, reach new customers, and it's more efficient.
So they're not limited by a physical space. They can have multiple virtual restaurants all running out of the same kitchen.
Exactly. It's super smart. They're using technology to adapt and really maximize what they can do.
It's mind-blowing. It's technology, food, and what people want all coming together and changing everything.
It really is a transformative time. And like we said, it's not just about, getting food fast anymore. It's about experiences, trying new things, and doing it all in a more sustainable and ethical way.
This is, wow, a lot to think about. We've gone from the psychology of pricing to the future of the whole industry.
It's been a journey, hasn't it? And we're not done yet.
That's right. We'll be right back to wrap up our deep dive into the world of food delivery apps with some final thoughts and takeaways. Okay, so we've really gone deep into this whole food delivery app thing, haven't we? From like sneaky fees to like AI predicting what we want to eat, but how do we actually use all this info?
Right, we started with which app is best.
Yeah.
And ended up talking about like the whole future of food.
And it turns out there's no easy answer, right? What's best for me might not be best for you.
Yeah, it really comes down to you. What do you care about? Is it speed, saving money, or maybe supporting local places or, the environment?
It's not just about the price of that burger anymore, is it?
Nope. It's about how we think about food, how these apps are changing things for the restaurants, the drivers, even the tech behind it all.
So what's the big takeaway for our listeners? What should they remember next time they're like scrolling through those food pics, getting hungry?
Be mindful, be informed, be empowered.
I like that. Break it down for us.
Okay, so mindful, like don't just jump on the first deal you see. Think about what you're actually getting, what matters to you.
Right, those fees, the fine print, all that. And what's important to you personally?
Informed. Do a little research, compare prices, think about like the bigger picture. How are your choices affecting things?
Knowledge is power, as they say. The more you know, the better decisions you can make.
And empowered. Try different apps, find new favorites, support the places that are doing things right. You have a voice.
It's like with every order, we're kind of shaping how this whole industry works.
Exactly. Whether it's convenience, local businesses, being eco-friendly, it's up to you.
This is, wow, really makes you think. Things are changing so fast.
They are. But the good news is we can be part of that change. Make it a change for the better.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into food delivery apps, everyone. Hope you learned something and feel like you can, make those choices that are right for you.
Until next time, enjoy your next meal.